Mark Harris adjusted his tie nervously as he stood outside his front door. A heavy weight of anticipation pressing down on his chest. It had been 5 long years since he last set foot in this house, in this city, in this life. The air felt thick with the weight of his memories, both fond and regretful. With a deep breath, he finally pushed the door open and stepped inside, his heart pounding in his chest. The familiar scent of home greeted him, but it was mingled with something else, something darker, something unsettling. "Anna," he called out, his voice echoing through the empty hallway. There was no response, only silence, and the distant sound of a clock ticking away the seconds. He made his way through the dimly lit house, each step echoing loudly in the emptiness. It felt like a lifetime since he had been here, since he had held his wife in his arms, since he had seen his son's smiling face. Finally, he reached the living room, and there she was, sitting on the couch, bathed in the glow of the television. Anna, his wife. She looked up at him with eyes that seemed to hold 1,000 secrets, 1,000 regrets. "Mark," she said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. "You're home." Her words hung in the air like a heavy fog, suffocating him, drowning him in their weight. He wanted to reach out to her, to hold her, to tell her that everything would be all right. But he couldn't find the words, couldn't find the courage. Instead, he sat down beside her, his heart heavy with the weight of what he had to say. "Anna, we need to talk," he said, his voice trembling with emotion. And so they talked. About the past, about the present, about the future. About the years spent apart, the distance that had grown between them. The love that had faded into something unrecognizable. It was a conversation filled with pain and regret, with longing and despair. They talked until the early hours of the morning, until there were no more words left to say. Until all that was left was the cold, hard truth. "We can't go on like this," Anna said, her voice breaking with emotion. "We're not happy anymore, Mark. We haven't been happy for a long time." And so it was decided. They would go their separate ways, each searching for something that they had lost along the way. Mark would return to his life as a spy, chasing shadows and ghosts in the name of duty. Anna would stay behind, in the house that had once been their home, trying to piece together the shattered fragments of her life. But as Mark packed his bags and prepared to leave, a sense of unease settled over him like a dark cloud. There was something wrong here, something he couldn't quite put his finger on. He glanced around the empty room, his eyes lingering on the photographs that lined the walls, the memories of a life that no longer existed. And then he saw him, their son, Timmy, standing in the doorway, his eyes wide with fear, his face pale as death. "Daddy," he whispered, his voice barely audible above the sound of Mark's racing heartbeat. "Don't go." But it was too late. Mark had made his decision, and now he had to live with the consequences. As he stepped out into the cold night air, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly, horribly wrong. And little did he know, the horrors that awaited him were far worse than anything he could have imagined. For in the darkness of the night, in the depths of that empty house, something sinister was stirring, something evil, something hungry. And as Mark drove away, leaving behind everything he had ever known, he couldn't help but feel that he was leaving behind more than just his wife and son. He was leaving behind a darkness that would follow him wherever he went, a darkness that would consume him whole. For in the end, there are some things that even love cannot conquer. Some demons that even the bravest of souls cannot face. And in the heart of that empty house, in the soul of that fractured family, There lurked a darkness that would never be extinguished. In Possession, 1981, Anna's descent into madness is a harrowing journey that grips both her and those around her. At first, her behavior seems inexplicable, speaking in tongues, inflicting self-harm, and partaking in bizarre rituals. Mark, her husband, desperate for answers, turns to a private investigator to unravel the mystery shrouding Anna's actions. As the investigator delves deeper, he uncovers a horrifying truth. Anna is not merely struggling with mental illness, she is possessed by a monstrous entity. This revelation sends shockwaves through Mark's world, forcing him to confront the unimaginable and grapple with the sinister forces at play. As Anna's possession intensifies, Mark is faced with an agonizing decision: to save his wife. He must confront the entity head-on, plunging himself into a battle against darkness itself. The lines between reality and nightmare blur as Mark navigates a labyrinth of terror, fighting to reclaim Anna's soul from the clutches of evil. With each twist and turn, Possession plunges deeper into the abyss of madness, offering a visceral exploration of the human psyche and the terrifying power of the unknown. As Mark confronts the true nature of Anna's possession, he must also confront his own inner demons, leading to a climax of haunting intensity. In the eerie streets of Berlin, Anna's descent into madness begins innocuously. Her erratic behavior dismissed as the turmoil of a failing marriage. However, as her husband, Mark, delves deeper into the mystery, he uncovers a sinister truth lurking within their home. Anna's possession is not merely a psychological affliction but a malevolent force, hungry for corporeal form. As Mark struggles to comprehend the horror unfolding before him, Anna's once familiar features contort into grotesque shapes, her voice a cacophony of unearthly sounds. The entity within her twists and writhes, defying the laws of nature with its insatiable hunger for dominance. Desperate to save his wife, Mark embarks on a harrowing journey into the depths of darkness, confronting his own fears and insecurities along the way. But as he delves deeper, he realizes that the entity's hold on Anna is stronger than he ever imagined, and its intentions more sinister. In a chilling climax, the true nature of the entity is revealed, shattering any semblance of reality for Mark and Anna. Their world is consumed by the monstrous revelation, leaving them trapped in a nightmare from which there may be no escape. As the credits roll, the audience is left to ponder the chilling implications of possession, and the thin veil that separates the realms of the living and the dead. The horror of possession lingers long after the screen fades to black, a testament to its enduring power to terrify and disturb. The haunting conclusion plunges viewers into a nightmarish abyss where the boundaries between reality and madness blur. As the film reaches its climax, the true horror of possession unfolds in a grotesque ballet of despair and self-destruction. At the heart of the story lies the unraveling marriage of Anna and Mark. Their relationship is a fragile facade masking deep-seated resentment and emotional turmoil. As tensions escalate, an otherworldly force begins to infiltrate their lives, manifesting as a sinister presence that threatens to consume them both. Throughout the film, director Andrei Zulawski crafts a relentless atmosphere of dread, punctuated by moments of visceral horror. The entity's true form remains shrouded in mystery, its malevolent intentions driving Anna to the brink of madness. With each passing moment, the line between victim and aggressor blurs, leaving the audience questioning the nature of possession itself. As the climax approaches, the full extent of the entity's influence is unleashed in a terrifying display of supernatural power. Anna becomes a vessel for its rage, her body contorting and convulsing in a grotesque parody of human form. Mark, desperate to save his wife, is powerless to stop the inexorable descent into darkness. In the film's climactic sequence, the boundaries between Anna and the entity dissolve entirely, culminating in a harrowing confrontation with her own doppelganger. The scene is a surreal nightmare, a twisted reflection of Anna's innermost fears and desires. Ultimately, possession leaves the audience with a sense of profound unease, confronting them with the horrifying consequences of a love poisoned by resentment and a mysterious, unstoppable force. It's a chilling reminder that some demons cannot be exorcised, lurking in the shadows of the human psyche, waiting to unleash their wrath upon the unsuspecting. In the end, possession is not just a tale of supernatural horror. It is a deeply personal journey into the depths of despair and the resilience of the human spirit. Through its gripping narrative and chilling imagery, it leaves an indelible mark on those who dare to witness its descent into madness.